Give him his shoes somewhere here. His phone and everything.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Oga, where do you think you are going?
Home. You never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body.
Shake body, see?
Huh? Never shake body.
I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here. Sit down there.
What's this man still doing here?
They say I do shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I do this. And I say I don't get combo.
You are asking for money.
Sorry, ma'am.
Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello viewers, and welcome to another exciting edition of Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Ruth Awodi. Anti-Corruption and Transparency Units, ACTUs, are bodies set up by ICPC to check and prevent corruption in government ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs. ACTU as an initiative was established through a head of service circular dated 2nd October 2001, arising from recommendations from stakeholders and a request from the Commission. An ACTU is like a mini ICPC because it has the powers to carry out all the ICPC's functions except prosecution. Today we look at the progress of ACTU, especially in 2017. Also on our menu, we bring you anti-corruption stories, drama, ethics and values, and many more. But first, let us join Joy Aja for anti-corruption stories.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Joy Aja. The Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloyede, has explained the circumstances that led to his organization remitting 7.8 billion naira to government coffers as revenue in 2017, saying that government never expected such a huge amount from the agency. Professor Oloyede made this revelation at the inauguration ceremony of members of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit of JAMB headquarters in Buhari, Abuja, which was conducted by ICPC.
I do solemnly swear affirm that as a member of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, ACTU of will display high levels of personal integrity.
He urged the members to use the ACTU platform that had been enabled by ICPC to tackle corruption in JAMB, while lamenting that the many corruption matters he has been handling within the agency were beginning to have an adverse effect on his other responsibilities.
If you tell people outside that you are a member of the ACTU of a body like JAMB, you will see that the assessment, normal people will assess you better. And that is why you must take it as an opportunity that if you are chosen by mistake, don't take it as mistake now. Take it as divine intervention in your life. And then say from now onward, nobody can find me on any corrupt practice.
Mr. Justin Kwatse of Corruption Monitoring and Evaluation Department, ICPC, who represented the Commission at the event, lauded the ongoing anti-corruption reforms of JAMB, which had recently uncovered alleged massive corruption in some of its state offices. He noted that the achievements of JAMB in the anti-corruption fight was worthy of emulation by other government agencies. On her own part, the chairman of ACTU in JAMB, Mrs. Munirat Lawal, gave the assurance that the unit would deliver on its mandate by helping to reduce the incidence of corruption in the agency. She added that the unit had already begun work by sensitizing staff against corruption and helping to close down some illegal centers for conduct of the computer-based tests. In an effort to achieve its preventive mandate and reduce the incidence of corruption in the country, ICPC played host to pupils from ABC Academy International, Utako, Abuja, and Virgins Academy, Suleja, Niger State. The head of Education Department, ICPC, Mr. Baba Ashiru, who welcomed the students, encouraged them to always stand for the right things and shun corruption as future leaders. He commended the teachers of the school for bringing the pupils to ICPC and also encouraged them to set up anti-corruption clubs in their schools.
Let me begin with this message to your chaplains. Please, if you don't have anti-corruption clubs, as soon as you go back to your school form, right? Yes, it's very important. Yes. Now let me tell you the importance of this club. As far back as 2002, school children like you, not grown-ups like these ones by my left, school children like the ones by my right, were coming to pay courtesy call, just like you did come here today. So a policeman stopped them on the road, and he wanted to collect the normal what? Right? So one of the students, a tiny girl like this, said, no, don't give him anything. We are members of the anti-corruption club. See that? That's the kind of thing we want you to do. So don't hear corruption and think that it's one big vocabulary that does not have any relevance to your life. It has direct relevance to your living.
Also speaking at the event, Mrs. Azuka Ogugwa of the Education Department enlightened the students on the functions of ICPC, types of corruption, and the effects of corruption. She impressed on the pupils the need for them to take a stance against corruption, adding that integrity and honesty were the way to go.
How can we help stop corruption? Everybody ask that question. Ask yourself, how can I help fight corruption? Now somebody says it is the duty of the youth to challenge corruption. Don't accept corruption. When you see the right thing, do it. When you see the wrong thing, don't keep quiet. Okay? What did I say? When you see the wrong thing, don't do what? Don't keep quiet. Challenge it. Why are you doing this thing? Is it right?
In their reactions, Mrs. Egbe Justina and Mr. Abdullahi Yusuf, who led the delegations of both schools, expressed their gratitude to the Commission for hosting them and gave the assurance that the lessons learned from the visit would be used for the betterment of the students. That will be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues. Stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Sir, I came here to find out what the progress is like, sir.
Oh, all is set for the commencement of the exams. Let's say about an hour.
I was thinking we could come to an agreement as to how to help the students.
Exactly what are you insinuating?
We would like to pay you for your cooperation.
Are you offering to bribe me?
No. It's some sort of compensation for your help.
By keeping away while the exam is on?
That's correct, sir.
I will report you to the authority.
Report, Ken. No wonder some of you people die wretched.
What did you say?
I said that you are a man of integrity.
Offering to bribe exam official is corruption. And corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
You are still watching Corruption Must Go. The underlying idea for the establishment of anti-corruption and transparency units was to complement the prevention efforts of ICPC in MDAs in the areas of monitoring and reporting corruption. Specifically, the units, just like ICPC, have the duty to examine and review corruption-prone systems, practices and procedures, and enlist the support of other public officers in fighting corruption within their MDAs. Let us hear from Mr. Justin Kwatse of Corruption Monitoring and Evaluation Department of ICPC, who oversees the affairs of ACTUs.
The ACTU actually is an acronym for Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit. Some people call it committee. It is not committee. It is unit. The unit started in 2001. It arose from a communique point which was raised at a national conference on corruption and national rebirth. So the communique point said that the ICPC should establish an anti-corruption unit in every government ministry, department, and agency to help her in the fight against corruption. So that's how it took off. On the 2nd of October 2001, the unit was created through a circular from the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation. In the year 2017, we have actually what we call inauguration, then sensitizations. At inaugurations, we also sensitize people, but specifically on sensitization of staff from the management level, middle level, cadre, and the junior staff, we did 37 in 2017. 37. Of these 37, 26 were in the headquarters, and 11 were in the zones and the states where the ICPC has offices. At the inauguration of the ACTU, we also conduct what we call induction of the unit members. And the essence of that induction is to familiarize them with the dictates of their duties as contained in this ACTU standing order. We call it standing order for the operations of ACTU. So they function effectively and precisely under the guidance of this standing order. Then also we give them what we call the action plan template. An action plan template delineates all the duties they have to undertake from the beginning of the year to the end. There are about 10 items there, but chiefly among them, the first is their monthly meetings. Then also we have sensitization programs that they will have to undertake, educational programs, monitoring of corruption, monitoring activities, system study and review mechanism in the respective MDAs. So these activities are properly captured, and at the end of the day, they render reports. It is based on these reports that they will know whether they are doing well or they're not doing well, because they have to give us quarterly reports of the meetings they had and the activities that they undertook in the period under consideration. Yes, on the 16th of April 2003, there was a circular from the head of service that said the MDAs should fund the ACTU pending when the ICPC will take over that function. Fortunately, or unfortunately rather, ICPC did not take over because we noticed some challenges. So we went back to the head of service, and on the 5th of October 2016, another circular was issued again, directing MDAs to open a budget line, or to create rather a budget line for the funding of the ACTUs. Thank you. You know, the ICPC has a very robust prevention model. We have tried a lot to get them to adhere strictly to what the ICPC says: system study and review, enlightenment and education, budget monitoring. To this extent, and through the reports we are getting from the ACTUs, a lot of them have really done a lot. We also, from time to time, go out to test to see how far the MDAs are complying with our directives. When we go out to monitor budget in tandem with even the units themselves, and going out there, we discover that some of them have really come on board, but there are challenges, those that are not compliant. I think I must first of all talk about the number of ACTUs we have, because there were changes, majors and demergers in the shape of ministries and departments, we used to have 427 ACTUs, and we're having more coming in. But as of today, we have 402 of them, because if you look at Ministry of Power, Housing, and Works, they have been merged into one ministry. So we have 2 active ACTUs there, for example, in the Power and in Works. Housing goes along with Works. So we have 402. These 402 ACTUs, some of them are in the states and the zones where the ICPC operates. But I can tell you that they have been very, very up and doing in trying to meet our preventive mandate. And what's the preventive mandate? Looking at systems and processes and correcting them, sensitizing staff on and against the ills of corruption, educating staff, developing codes of ethics for workers to adhere to, so that, you don't just go and find a laissez-faire atmosphere in the ministries prevailing. So they have done a lot of that. And then, of course, they have what we call preliminary investigation. They carry out investigations. When they carry out investigations, first they send the reports to us. If we see that they are worthy of cascading down the line, that is, working more on the investigation report, then we send our investigators to go there and help them to carry out a full-blown investigation. So we have done a lot in that. Also, education, enlightenment, system study and review, monitoring the budget, and then the preliminary investigation. In this case, they have done very well.
Indeed, ACTUs have been instrumental to the strides recorded in corruption prevention by ICPC in MDAs. We spoke with some ACTU chairmen from different organizations who shared their experiences with us.
The experience is a rich one because the way ACTU is structured is manned from people from within. And most of the people who are members of ACTU in FEMA are from sensitive departments and units. You have people from procurement, legal, and audit, and things like that. So these people know what is going on in the agency. We have just organized a sensitization program at the headquarters here. The program is such that people came from all over to come and attend. And one of the things that happened is that we took care of all cadre of officers. We dealt with the executive management by making them understand what we're doing. We brought in the management, the larger management, and we went to the medium cadre and the lowest cadre. In our efforts to educate members of staff, we have materials. Apart from the lectures that we organize, and we invite resource persons from delegates from the commission, ICPC, to come and do the lecturing. We also have stickers like this. And these materials will go to every state office we have.
Yes, ACTU in NIDA has been doing wonderfully well. We meet regularly as expected of us by the, standing order, what we are supposed to be meeting every month. At least we make sure that every month we do, except in rare cases when staff are either on official assignment or when we are not able to form quorum. That is when we do not meet. Like, if I remember vividly, last year we met for 9 out of the 12 times we were supposed to meet. We met 9 times, which I think it's a very good thing. Also, we had our sensitization workshop twice last year for the old staff of the agency, where we do invite speakers from outside. We invited from ICPC. The second one was from the Anti-Corruption Academy in Kefi. They spoke to staff on different aspects of corruption, how to prevent it, and the ethical values that we need to bring into our job to make sure that we don't indulge in corrupt activities. All we do, we are guided by the standing order. And luckily for us, in this agency, we have a DG who has allergy for corruption. So that has made our own job easy, because whatever that is required to be done is ready to support it.
Well, the experience has been quite interesting. Well, challenging naturally, but over time, we've been able to let our colleagues understand the essence of having ACTU, that we're not here actually to disrupt what's on, but to see how we can actually work together to improve in the service delivery through being more responsive, be more accountable, and be more transparent in our processes. Apart from the monitoring, and we do system study. Some of this, we go to departments and core offices at the headquarters, we study their processes, systems, how far are they doing, where they are doing well, is there anywhere they need to improve on the transparency and accountability. When we scrutinize something, we give them, send report back to the commercial, and commercial give appropriate directives to the department and core offices. We have calculated that also to our commands. We see the operations, those that were actually enforcing the law, that is interacting with the road traffic violators, because we have received some reports, complaints from the public about maybe high-handedness of some of our, or maybe some corrupt tendencies, and we have had to go into such things, investigate some of them, and we have made adequate recommendations to management, which have led to maybe removal of some of these operatives from the highways, or maybe correction of some of the processes, just to increase accountability and transparency and general improved delivery.
Policymakers and chief executives of MDAs, and indeed all public servants, should support ACTUs in order to promote and sustain the purposes of good ethics, accountability, transparency, and compliance with rules and regulations in public service. ACTU members must continue to serve as advocates for greater support for efficient and effective operations of MDAs, and must in words and conduct demonstrate zero tolerance for corruption. That's our package for today. Remember, do not look the other way when you witness a corrupt act. Help ICPC fight corruption to a standstill. Report acts of corruption to ICPC on 0800 call ICPC. See you again next week. Bye for now.